together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, we come together. In the name of love. Now look at the person next to you. Say, God loves me and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, Namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you.
So as we stand here asking, what is mine to do? We simply turn to God knowing that the answer is within all of us. Tapping into that oneness, that purity, that innocence, and that infinite intelligence, we know that the path is revealed to us indefinitely. And so we just bless this day. We bless the calling and the purpose that allows us to ask the question of where we can shine our light. And we listen with an open heart, knowing that the answer is always love. And so it is.
And so it is.
Well, good morning. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. And now we begin the ceremony that celebrates this oneness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come from the one universal presence, which we call spirit. And we have our lovely candlelighter this morning, Mrs. Ann Fleming. Thank you so much. And so let us begin. The Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And our last candle is the healing candle of love. So we invite you at this time, in the stillness of your own mind, to bring to awareness anyone or anything that you wish to be included in this healing flame of love and light. And now that our flames of faith are fully lit, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. Thank you, Miss Ann. All right, so please join me from home or from the audience here in our purpose, vision, and mission statement. Our purpose, which is our reason for being. We awaken and inspire love and oneness. Perfect. Our vision. What do we want to become or create? We are an empowered, uplifting, inclusive community. Yes. And lastly, our mission. How are we going to get there? We teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. Yay. Excellent. And this morning, our sacred reading is a little bit longer, but I encourage you to just close your eyes and feel the words and allow it to resonate. What can I do? Or may I propose, what is mine to do? In a world that is so vast, so populated, so busy, it's safe to say that the idea of where to start when considering the idea of how we can make a significant change in society is at bare minimum overwhelming. So often we block our ideas of how we can make an impact in the world with our own self-limiting beliefs. Thoughts such as, I won't make a difference. The truth is, our very existence as spiritual beings, having a human experience on this planet, simply living, breathing, moving through time and space, all compose the very purpose of our mission. When we slow down and consider the individual contributions that ultimately impact the experience of all mankind, one may observe how the macro and micro dynamic support the basic principles of purpose, action, and direction in life for all. The answer is simple, as we are all individual parts of a greater whole. When we commit to being the very best version of ourselves by giving every day our full attention, when we are mindful and focus on how we can love ourselves and others in all ways, we influence the entirety of race consciousness for all. When we nurture our relationships with ourselves and others by practicing forgiveness and healthy boundaries, being present, releasing judgment, and detaching ourselves from any preconceived definitions of success, we regain perspective. What can I do? I can be myself, authentically and wholeheartedly. I can commit to practicing the art of living within my own daily experiences, recognizing that my individual growth sparks a spiritual wave of forward momentum on a universal scale. Thank you.
If I want to have more joy in my life, it's time to open my heart up and let it shine. Whatever it is desire is mine if I can be inspired. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more love in my life, I'm gonna keep on smiling till I feel alright. The key to success is in my hand. As soon as I understand, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more peace in my life, I need to take the time to listen to the voice inside. If I know who I am and my aim is true, the only thing I've got to do, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. I'm so glad that it's up to me. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet.
Woohoo! Beautiful ending there, darling. Well, good morning. My name is Stevie Lanier, and I am one of the many licensed practitioners here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. And it's 2021, guys. Can we start off saying that? Yes, 2020 is over. First of all, I just want to say, yes, we are still virtual, and it's indefinite for now, but that's okay, because one thing that will never change is prayer. And it's a huge part of what we do here. There's so many ways to get prayer, so I always want to remind anybody out there who wants to be held in that love and that light, call, send an email. There's so many ways to make sure that you are being supported. Some other fun things that are happening. It is time to live our mission through spiritual transformation and teaching. So there's so many opportunities to join and get involved. So a few classes that are going to be coming up. Mental equivalence. This is one of my favorite subjects. This is something that really struck me when I was taking classes. And it starts Monday, January 18th, and it's going to be going for 5 weeks until February, 5 p.m. to 6:30. And the nice thing about these classes is right now it's all via Zoom. So you can take them in the comfort of your own home and get involved. So our facilitator for that is going to be Miss Tony Shannon, and you won't want to miss it. And we also have another class coming up, which is going to be Self-Mastery, Emergence of the True Self. Definitely sounds like something also you won't want to miss. It's a little bit of a longer course. We're going 8 weeks for that one, and it will be on Thursday nights. So you can take both classes since they're on different days. And that's going to be by Linda Steiner, who has been one of my teachers over and over again, and you will never, ever fall asleep in those classes. That is one thing I will say. She will have you up on your feet and moving. Other than that, that is the main things that we have for announcements, and I just want to tell everybody to buckle up for this talk today because I think it's a subject that will be really close to home. Our very own Reverend Don will be bringing us a message on what can we do and what is ours to give. But for now, back to special music.
Spirit is joy, oh holy joy. Spirit is joy, oh holy joy. Spirit is joy, oh holy joy. Let your light blaze through. Spirit is joy, oh holy joy. Springs from my soul to you. Catch on fire with the zeal of God. Oh, let your light blaze through. Dance and sing, yes, laugh and shout. Creation gives you the cue. You say that your God is love. Well, it's time to know its truth. Spirit is joy, oh, holy joy springs from my soul to you. Catch on fire with the zeal of God. Oh, let your light blaze through.
We are living in unprecedented times. It's been over 100 years since the world was encompassed with a virus that killed so many people. It's been over 80 years since the world has suffered from an economic depression to the extent of what we have this day. And we haven't seen political turmoil like we have today since the Civil War. It is so easy to get wrapped up in all of the effects of all the goings on in the world today that we lose track of the basic things in which we believe. Now, most of you know that it's my habit, usually January, my talks are consumed with a series of talks. I used to call them Back to Basics, in which we go back and look at the very fundamentals of the things in which we believe. This year, I'm going to shorten that a little bit, and I'm going to go straight to the two things that we believe, two of the 11 points that were published by Ernest Holmes in 1927. And they're a little wordy, but I'm going to turn that into what they mean to me. And I think that this brings up a key important part of what we believe in this center and within our movement, and that is that we are never here to tell you what to believe. What you believe is up to you. We don't tell you what to believe. The most we can hope for is to maybe help you think, how to believe, how to look at things maybe a little bit differently. But we certainly never tell anyone what to believe. In fact, What We Believe was written by Ernest Holmes, 1927. He originally was put out as What I Believe, and I'd like to still see it remain that way. But it was changed to What We Believe later, and it's still published in our magazines. If you are not receiving our magazine, if you don't have it, you can get it at bookstores, at Barnes & Noble. I think you can even get it on Amazon now. But we have some extra copies, and since we're not meeting, I have a lot of extra copies of our magazine. I think that we have perhaps maybe on a slide, we've got my name and my email address. If you would like a copy of our magazine, email me, and I will make sure that you get a copy of our magazine. And in the magazine every month are all 11 of the What We Believes. So today I'm going to talk about those. But first I want to welcome everyone. Hello. It's great to be with you, the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us in your homes, in your car, on your phone, on your PC, on your iPad, however you are joining us this day, whether you're joining us this morning, this afternoon, or later on in the week. Thank you for honoring us by inviting us into your presence and listening to what we have to say. So thank you. The 2 points that I'm going to talk about today, first of all, what we believe. We believe in God. And secondly, we believe in oneness. Now, what Ernest Holmes wrote, he wrote, "We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all of creation, but it is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God." Wow, that is a real mouthful. going along with this idea that we don't tell you what to think, I will tell you what that means to me. To me, what that is saying is that God is both immanent and transcendent. Well, what does that mean? To me, it means that this infinite presence, that there is indeed a power in the universe, one infinite power, and that power is omnipresent. That is to say that it is present at every point in space, and it is present at every moment of time. It is in, around, through, as all of everything. And if it is through of everything at all times, that means that that infinite power is within you, it is within me, it is within each and every one of us. So we are all part of that infinite creative power. I also believe that this infinite creative power is omniscient. It is all-knowing. It knows all of everything. It is infinite intelligence. It is infinite wisdom. And it is within each and every one of us. I'm reminded of the Socratic dialogue written by Plato, and it was a story of Socrates was talking with his general Mino, and they were discussing some finer points of philosophy. Can values be taught? And Socrates' point was that we already know all of everything we need to know. And that produced a heated argument. And so Socrates brought up Mino's servant, who was an uneducated young servant boy. And Socrates began to ask this young lad a series of questions. And he led him through this series of questions that allowed the young man, who had no background in teaching and education in mathematics, he was able to solve a difficult mathematical equation simply by asking him the questions and revealing what the boy already knew. And I submit that we are like Mino's servant, that we already know. We just need to awaken to that which we already are familiar with. We are all omniscient. And indeed, we are all omnipotent. That is, we are all powerful. We have within us incredible strength. We have within us the ability to do amazing, wonderful things. We are greater than any virus. We are greater than economic conditions. And we are greater than any sense of separation from one another, or separation from that infinite creative force, God. I am reminded of a story. Two Tibetan monks decided that they were going to go on a journey. They had been in their monastery for a long time. They'd been sequestered. They were very ascetic. And they decided that they were going to go out and experience the world. But before they did, they agreed that they would never touch or speak to a woman, because that might stray their thinking from being focused on God. And so they agreed to do this. And they went on their journey, and things were going great. And then one day they came to a river, and it was fast, and it was deep, and it was flowing rapidly. And they realized that they could not get across this river individually. But if they worked together, they cooperated, they could cross the river. And so they held on to each other tightly and started to cross, when a young woman came up behind them, and she saw what was going on, and she saw that she could not make it across the river on her own either. And so she asked them, "May I join you? Can you help me in this?" And the older monk said yes. And he reached out. He not only spoke with the woman, but he reached out and took her hand, and together the three of them crossed the stream. They got to the other side. The young woman thanked the monks, and she went on her way, and the monks went on their way. The younger monk was upset. He was mad. And they walked for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and he never spoke a word. Finally, after a long time, over 3 hours, the younger monk said, "Why did you do that? We had agreed, we made a vow to not to touch a woman or to speak to them. And you not only touched her and spoke to her, but you helped her across the river. Why did you do that? The older monk looked at him and he said, yes, I broke my vow. I touched her for almost 3 minutes. But you, my friend, have been carrying her all afternoon. And I think sometimes we're like that. We hold on to things that we would be far better releasing by letting go. None of us are perfect. Sometimes it's necessary to let things go. I talked about God being both immanent and transcendent. This infinite creative force transcends this physical world in which we live. And I think the key point in that, the demonstration of that, is that God is love. God is the thing that connects all of us. And that is part of the nature of this infinite creative force. It transcends our ability to give our human words true meaning as to be able to describe this infinite force. So the second quality, the second thing in which we believe is that we believe in oneness, that we are one. We believe in the unity of all life. And the secret here is one. There is one power, one presence, one life. And that life is the life of God. And that is the life of each and every one of us. There are not two opposing forces. There is not a God and a Satan. There is only God. One power, one presence, one life. And we are all the same. We all cry the same tears. Our feelings and emotions are the same. I hearken back 50 years ago. It was 1970, actually over 50 years, isn't it? It was 1970. I was in basic training, Lackland Air Force Base, Texas. And by some magical luck of the draw, I drew KP more than any other airman in my entire squadron. I got picked for KP. Well, at one time I had KP 3 nights in 5 days. And this one was a particularly long one, and it was like 2:30 in the morning. And then the July heat of Texas was a lot for this old Wyoming boy, I'll tell you. And I got an opportunity, it was about 2:30 in the morning, to go out and get out of the hot kitchen and get a breath of fresh air. And I stepped out into the dark night and I looked up and I saw the big moon up there. And I looked at that moon for a moment. And I thought of man back in Colorado. And I realized that even though we were thousands of miles apart, we were both looking at that same moon. And I submit that we're all like that. We are all looking at that same big moon. We are all connected. We are all one. We all have mothers. We may not know her, but we all have a mother. We all have a father. We may not know him, but we all have a father. We all have the same basic needs. You know, Maslow did his hierarchy of needs. We all have the same basic needs. We must learn to understand our differences and to celebrate our sameness. Equality, respect, compassion, and kindness must guide our actions, and we must allow love and friendship to dominate our hearts. Only then can we create a world that works for everyone. We are indeed one. My conclusion today this comes from Walt Whitman's poem, Miracles. Why? Who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know nothing but miracles. I know nothing but miracles. If we think about our lives, how many miracles are there every day in our life? Jeopardy champion Albert Thacker says that he often thinks of those words, especially when he recalls his time watching Jeopardy, and eventually becoming a contestant on the show. During one of Alex Trebek's last tapings, Thakur told Trebek that he had learned English while watching Jeopardy as a child in India. The conversation struck a chord with millions of people, and Thakur wrote a beautiful essay describing just how important Trebek was to his childhood and to America. He closes with these words: "Dear reader, radiate light outward today. Be the little ray of sunshine in someone else's world. Have empathy. All we have is each other. What greater miracles are there?" And so as we face this world, this unprecedented world where we have this vortex of seemingly negative things, and we ask ourselves, what can I do? I'm drawn back to our sacred reading. Thank you, Stevie, for doing this. What can I do? I can be myself authentically and wholeheartedly. I can commit to practicing the art of living within my own daily experiences, recognizing that my individual growth sparks a spiritual wave of forward momentum on a universal scale. It is our own individual growth that will change the world. And so it is from this awareness of the power and the presence of an infinite creative force, a higher power within each of us, and recognizing that we are all one, that I invite my colleagues, the practitioners, to join me this morning in holding our congregation, our city, our state, our nation, this globe, in love and light. And we just simply recognize that that infinite presence is indeed within each and every one of us at every moment. That we are all powerful. That we are all indeed omnipotent. We are greater than any pandemic. We are greater than any economic downturn. For we know that we live in an abundant universe. And we know that we are greater than any separation, that we can never be truly separate from one another. Just because someone has different political beliefs does not mean that they are separate from us, that they have to be hated or feared. We can simply know that there is one power, one presence, one life. And that life is the life of God, and that is the life of each and every one of us. And we are all brothers and sisters in this world. And so I speak my words specifically now for those who are experiencing dis-ease. We just simply know that there is a magnificent power that is here to heal and to cure and to care forth each and every one of us. The advancements in medicine and technology are here for us. Speak my word for those who are suffering from lack and limitation. We just simply know that truth, that we do live in an abundant universe. And for those who are feeling separation, perhaps within their families, perhaps romantic relationships, work relationships, it all falls aside when we look beyond behaviors, we look beyond statements, and we see that divine spark within one another. And so we just give thanks. We give thanks for our awareness of the power and the presence of God within each other. We give thanks. We let it go. We let it be. And so it is.
I am a radiating center of light. Through me only God will shine. I am a radiating center of light. Through me only God will shine.
It's so good to have you back.
Yay!
Welcome back. Good to see you. This is the time in the service where we are afforded the opportunity to embrace one of our spiritual practices that go along with our spiritual beliefs. This practice is known as the law of circulation, and this is when we pass the hat. Since we're all distant, I'll take this opportunity to tell another little story. This is a good one. Before I do, though, I want to mention this congregation and what a generous group of people. Absolutely amazing. We have the final numbers from 2020, and I think we're all glad to see 2020 in the rearview mirror. Let's hope that the first few weeks of 2021 aren't a reflection of the whole year. But this center has been amazing in support of one another, and I just want to thank everybody. And this story goes along with this theme of generosity. If you want proof that guardian angels really do exist in so many forms, look no further than the story of Monique Jones and an ICU nurse, Caitlin Obrock. Jones was 26 weeks pregnant when she contracted COVID-19. She was rushed to the hospital. She was intubated at St. Louis, Missouri Hospital, eventually put on a machine that they called the highest form of life support. As she fought for her life with her baby, Jones said that she felt the presence of a guardian angel. That presence was Obrock, who felt a strong kinship with Jones. The nurse said that she would whisper words of motivation to Jones at each shift to let her know that she was going to make it. Her condition worsened, and Jones had to have her daughter Zamria via emergency C-section at 29 weeks, just barely into the third trimester. The baby was taken to another ICU, but Obrock placed photos of baby Zamra in Jones's room. Jones eventually recovered. She entered a rehab to learn how to walk. And while in rehab, Obrock organized a baby shower for the young mother with gifts for the newborn and over $2,000 for Jones and her family. Jones was so overwhelmed and grateful, she named Obrock her baby's godmother, and the two women still text all the time. A godmother to me is like support system. I felt like she fought for me. And you see, that's the nature of our spiritual community. We fight for one another. Not physically fight, no. But we know the truth for one another. We hold forth. We fight that urge to fall into effect and to fall into the conditions of the world. And we know a higher truth, and we support one another. And so I just want to thank everyone for that. And this demonstration of generosity is symbolic of our center. I also want to recognize some of the people we see on in the chat room today. Beverly Churchill, Shelley Jean, Judith Mack, Kaleem, that cookie maker. What at Solstice, the ladies made cookies, and they listed all the cookie makers on there. And there was Kaleem. I had no idea he was a baker. That man is amazing talent. There is no depth to all that he does. Michelle Kuntz, Don Nav, Keith Montgomery, Joan Heidel, Luann Pogue, Trevor Wolf, Dana, Michelle Scammon, Gene Karwowski from Arizona, Cynthia George, Jessica Johnston, Barb Taylor, Keith Montgomery, Judy Wolf, Tiffany, Lynn and Marion. Oh, welcome back, Lynn and Marion, and Ninetta. So, if you'll join me in there, I think the basket will make its way to me sometime, one way or another. Our affirmation. Oh, you're not close enough. Oh, Ann got too close to me. I guess she can, can't she? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. My affirmation. I am a powerful creator of my reality. So it is.
am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Yes, I am so blessed. Blessed to know that I can count the miracles in my life every day. Knowing that I can offer a hand to others and being grateful that I never have to cross that bridge alone. Recognizing that there is a beauty in our differences and yet honoring our sameness because we are all connected. Knowing that we leave today with this heartfelt message, recognizing what I can do. I can be me, unapologetically. And I encourage each and every one of these beautiful expressions of the divine, the Most High, to do the same. And so it is.
And so it is.
And our affirmation for today: there is a power in the universe,
There's a power in the universe,
and I can use it.
and I can use it.
And so it is.
And so it is.